Hey everybody, this is Herschel Froome from High School Top 200, and this review of King's College and Auckland Grammar. This is a review for probably the most watched game, I guess you could call it, that we have in New Zealand for first 15 level. I'm not too sure if it's just the older traditions, but I know it's one of the oldest traditions, but I'm not too sure if it's the oldest. But this is actually a big deal around the country for this game, and so I thought that I would give you my view on what this game is kind of going to be like, and some of the players to watch. And so, like, the first thing I really thought of was I really looked for the sort of the similars. And so both teams have played De La Salle College, and Grammar lost to De La Salle 19-24, and then Kings beat De La Salle 34-12. And so, like, if you kind of take those scores and then, you know, match it up with sort of each other, Kings seems to be the favourite just from that alone. Grammar has beaten Hamilton Boys, has beaten St. Peter's, who also beat St. Kennigan's, and so, like, you're going to get a sort of good idea of where this game is kind of going to be. And so I think that when you look at both teams and then you kind of look at those scores as well, the game is going to be tight, and I think it's more in favour of Kings. Kings' key for me, and what I have seen them do this year, is that if Hayes, the captain Hayes, Okesini, is not performing well, or if he has a bad game, the forward pack as a whole has a bad game, because he's the physical leader out there, and he's the one that throws his body around. He's the one that gives 100% effort, and he's basically their bouncer in the club. If he goes down, then sort of the whole thing collapses, because he's that main guy. And so, like, I see, and stages like this, Hayes will stand up. Like, Hayes Okesini is not a shy dude to get into the physical battle, and that's kind of where he's going to be at. I don't think that he's going to have a bad game. I actually think he's going to have a really good game. He's going to be solid in the scrums. He's going to clean people out, and then along with that, Junior's the other one, and I think that Junior at lock, he's going to have to be real effective when it comes to the lineouts. And I know that they have other options that they go to and things like that as well, because you still have Isaiah and you still have Lath coming off the bench, or depending who starts out of Isaiah and Lath, but both of them are also really good options, and both of them really quick and mobile. But Junior is the main guy that you'd probably look to. So once Hayes gets into his rhythm, has that strong start, Junior's going to have to pick up. And then the loose trio is, even though that they're young, they're still a major factor in terms of the defensive side of things. Noel Perolini's really quick around the field, and I think he has to really shut down play before it starts, because you don't really want it to get out to the backs too much for Auckland Grammar. And Judda's going to have to stand up and be a real physical presence. He doesn't have to be fast, he doesn't have to be quick to the breakdowns, but he has to be physical. And also Mills, you don't have to ask Mills to be physical, because he's pretty much physical anyway. That's just his game. But I would want Mills to play sort of an open side role as well, and to maybe get a bit more meters off the back of the scrums, because I think I personally would rather have Mills on at 8 and put Judda at 6, and then make sure that Mills has more of the responsibility to get his team going. The backline is going to be pretty. I think it's going to be kind of the same as it usually is, where they're going to have Thorne and Zahn. Zahn's going to have a good kicking day, and in terms of kicking day, is getting the ball outside of their half, all the way down the field, find some grass, have a couple of bounces, hopefully go out, or have a couple of bounces and then get Auckland Grammar to make the decision of what they want to do, and if they mess up, then they mess up. Meihana and Lucas Hawes in the midfield are probably going to be the guys that you really want to shut down. And it's going to be a good battle too, because Auckland Grammar have some really top class midfielders just like Kings, and so that's going to be a real good battle. And the fact that all of them are going to be back next year, because they're all year 12s and 1 year 11, which is Meihana. I think Isa'ako in Nosa's better position is to be in fullback. He's been playing on the wing, and I think they had Aiden playing at fullback, but I personally would rather have Isa'ako. So if I had Isa'ako at fullback, then I would have him sort of pick and choose areas of the field where you would really want to attack, and so that's what I would use him for. Now Grammar, Saulan Mao has come back. I think he started last week. He's come back, and they said he's looking pretty strong, so that's good. I would really like him to see. I really like to see him get involved in the 3-phase set sort of thing, where he can clean out, back up. He can run the ball, back up, clean out, and then run the ball again. Things like that. So like he can be more effective in phases rather than in one-off running, which is kind of his game. The other thing is that also is the loose forward of Ollie, Zach, and Tovo. Like Tovo is like probably the most important guy, I would say, in their team because of his leadership. Because Tovo's not actually the biggest number 8 that you've seen. Like even Jeffrey, who to me is a blindside really, but he has to play lock. I think he's a bigger guy than Tovo, and I think he has a better and bigger effect physically than Tovo. But then Tovo is just the natural leader guy, that he would throw everything into everything. You know, he'll throw his body into everything that he's doing. So Tovo is the guy that I'll probably look to in the forwards. Their forwards are going to have to play, I think, pretty tight. I wouldn't really play an expensive game against Kings. I would play it really tight and make sure that you're physically dominating them rather than trying to spread them out, because I think Kings can play spread out. I just don't think they can play compressed and together. And so that's what I would do forward wise. In the backs, because Tom and Riley are, Riley's only year 11, and so even though Tom is good, I don't think that he's a lift. Like he doesn't lift Riley. They're kind of at the same level, and they just get the job done kind of thing. And so for me, I would quickly get it out of Riley's hands, so he doesn't get hit a lot, and try not get a lot of contact on Riley too, because the way that Mills hits, or Juddum hits, or Noah hits, it's going to be sore, and you don't really want that happening every single game. And if Kings choose to target him as the main guy to hit, he's going to have you're just going to hope that he doesn't take too many heavy hits that later on in the game it just starts to affect him more and things like that. So I would protect him a lot. I would rather get the ball to Matt and Simeon, because Matt's a massive runner, always breaks tackles, and I'm really keen to see what him and Meihana do against each other as well. And Lucas and Simeon, probably some of the best midfielders that we have coming through, along with Matt. It's going to be pretty mean to see how it all turns out. Matt's actually come through as one of the biggest surprises to me of guys that had really good off season, and they're just blowing out everybody else. So I've seen Matt play 3 times this year, and every single time he's had it over who he was going against. So that's really good. I prefer, on the wings, Rodney, and I would rather have Hedemai as the other one, and I would try and get them into one-on-one situations, or then coming onto the burst, and then trying to open up the back line on the edges, and so that there's some big breaks, and then just just let the ball fly to the other side, and hope that King scrambles and things like that. Rodney's the guy I'll give it to, because he's so big and strong, he's tough, and he's real aggressive and things like that, and so he's the guy that I'll probably go to for that kind of stuff. And I would rather have Callum Bean at fullback because of his communication skills. He may be not the best attacking runner in terms of breaking tackles, but in terms of picking the right gaps, he's the guy. In terms of being able to tell someone this is where you need to be, I would pick him. And so purely for communication skills and his eye for attack on where to get them, that's the guy I would go for. I'm picking Kings to win this game. I would pick 18-10 for Kings to win this game, and we'll see how this all goes. But that's my review. High School Top 200.